Welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, to Software Engineering Revision. I'm super excited that I'm making this video right now, and also for you guys out there also watching this video. Alright, in this video I just want to be talking about the front-end functionalities of the file upload system we just built. By the grace of God, since I've rounding up learning front-end and back-end, I decided that I'm going to build 4 full stack projects, which I showed you in this channel. Like I built a user authentication system, I built the user management system. Although the authentication system worked, the user management system did not work, but I proceed to start building the project, which is file upload system. And in this project is the combination of both the authentication system, the user management system, and also the file upload system. And mind you, some of the errors that I encountered in this project, which is the user management system, I have fixed all of them in the project, and I've tested the project and it's actually working. So I'm just going to try to explain the files and the structure that I use in building this project right now, so that you guys out there, you can also know how we built it. First of all, in this video I'm going to be talking about the front end, while the next video I'm going to be talking about the back end, and the next video I'll now show the full project, right? So in the first project I use contest API for this project. I've not really used, because the first project I use prompts, that is prompts drilling, where I have to pass the prompts from app.js to down to my components, but this time I just declare the global store. That is the power of contest API. You are just going to define all the logic in one component, then you are going to share it across many components, right? Like in the front end, like there are some certain things I work with. I work with protected routes, which means if user do not authenticate, they cannot access the dashboard. I also practice routing. I practice logging. I use Zod to validate the schema. I also practice a table, like in the user table, where the user got to see the name, the email, and the role, and actions like delete and edit, right? And also other thing I also practice, I practice the user form, where only admin have the power to create user. User cannot create user, neither user can delete user. Only what user can do, he can view his own details, right? And which other things I also did in the front end, like I said, I use protected routing, contest API, that is powerful. I also use async and await. Those are some of the libraries I use. Most libraries I use currently right now is I use the use form to validate my data. I do not just use normal state for the data. I use also use form. I use Zod. I use Zod, use form, React router. I think those are the core libraries I use, right? And also, another thing I want to talk about in this video is the contest APIs, the contest API part, because in that project I make me to understand how contest API work. First of all, now I have to use browser router to wrap my app in the main.js. If you're a programmer, you're going to understand what I'm trying to say. And also other features that I also included, like I validate the password, and my password, like for example, if you want to register, you want to log in, your email must be string, the password length must be TR, name must be TR. Those are some of the core things I added. I added toggle button. I added I have a separate file that I do talk to my backend, right? Because I did not just put when I was talking to my backend, I did not put the functions inside my component. I just have a separate file that I use to talk directly to my backend, right? And the last thing I'll be talking about in this video is the update user. Yes, update user, I love that thing so much, whereby there's something we called auto refill. I use effects to do it. Although this project is a bit complex, but by God grace I understand. Let me say I understand 90% of the front end, which I'm currently doing right now, and also even the back end. I also understand the back end very deeply, right? So thank you very much. I believe if I show the whole project, you're going to see what I'm actually talking about. So once for example, now if the admin create a new user, you just see the new user instantly in the table, right? And another thing, that in the file upload system, whereby a user can upload the file, in the backend part in this file upload is where I love most. So when I tested it, I was so happy, because when I uploaded the file from the front end, I go back to my backend, I saw the file there, and I go back to my database, I saw everything there. I was super excited, man, right? So thank you very much once again. I believe if I start showing the whole project, I'll talk more about it. So thank you very much. I just try to recall whether I really understand this, rather than just following AI, rather than just using ChatGPT. I really understand this, and I can build it from scratch. Let me say, I dedicate like 4 hours, I can build the whole front end from scratch. So thank you very much once again for wanting to be part of this journey. Remember, we have a vision we are pursuing to build a national surveillance system that's going to scale across the 36 states in Nigeria.